Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. The U.S. launches a third round of airstrikes against Iran-backed forces in Syria. And the new details just coming in. The military helicopter crash that killed 5 special operations soldiers. First, those retaliatory strikes. A U.S. official saying just moments ago, U.S. forces attacked 2 sites in Syria, including a command and control center. It comes after dozens of attacks on U.S. forces in the region and as Israel's war with Hamas intensifies. Israeli ground forces battling Hamas militants inside Gaza City. Hospitals at a breaking point. Matt Gutman on the ground in Israel. Also breaking, that deadly U.S. military helicopter crash in the eastern Mediterranean Sea near Cyprus. We just learned 5 special operations soldiers were killed during a refueling training mission in the middle of the night. Why those soldiers were in the area? Jay O'Brien standing by at the White House with late reporting. Here at home, the fast-moving deadly fire engulfing a New York City apartment building. An entire family killed, more than a dozen hurt. In the West, the massive Inferno shutting down a portion of a major freeway in Los Angeles. The governor declaring a state of emergency, bracing for a nightmare commute that could last for a while. Jacqueline Lee from the scene in Los Angeles. A state of emergency in Iceland, an entire town evacuated after hundreds of earthquakes. Officials warning of a powerful volcanic eruption at any time. Fears that it could potentially disrupt air travel in Europe. Back here at home, the corruption probe involving the mayor of New York City. The FBI seizing his devices. The new details just coming in on the investigation. Morgan Norwood from City Hall. The deadly shootout on a major highway in Houston. Gunfire erupting after police chased down a carjacking suspect. The heart-pounding moments caught on camera. A Good Samaritan dragging an injured officer to safety. And America Strong on this Veterans Day weekend. The group helping to make a difference in the lives of some of the nation's heroes.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on this busy Sunday. I'm Rachel Scott, in for Lindsay Davis. New details just coming in on 2 breaking stories, including a devastating helicopter crash that killed 5 special operations soldiers overseas. But we begin tonight with the U.S. unleashing a third round of retaliatory airstrikes. They were carried out against Iran-backed forces in Syria. Tensions escalating across the region as the war between Israel and Hamas intensifies. Hospitals in Gaza hitting a breaking point. This video capturing the moment one of the main hospitals in the area comes under fire. And this dramatic video showing just one of the intense battles between Hamas militants and Israeli soldiers. Israel saying there will be no ceasefire unless the 239 hostages, including Americans, are released. Protesters in Tel Aviv created a human chain demanding they be freed. But we start with those new airstrikes. ABC's Matt Gutman leading us off tonight from Israel.
Tonight, the U.S. unleashing a third round of retaliatory airstrikes on Iran-backed forces in Syria. A Pentagon official saying it hit 2 sites in Syria, including a weapons storage facility and, for the first time, a command and control center. Tonight's bombings come just days after 2 F-15s hit a weapons storage facility in Syria, all in response to at least 46 drone and rocket attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria since mid-October. And tonight, Israeli forces pushing deeper into Gaza City. Tanks charging through streets turned into dunes, blasting cannons across neighborhoods, firing at close range. The intense battles now building to building. Israeli troops clearing block by devastated block. The Israeli military releasing these videos from tank-mounted cameras, showing almost no building intact, many structures still burning. And Gaza City's main hospitals caught in the crosshairs. Al-Quds Hospital no longer operational, according to the Palestinian Red Crescent. Just days ago, doctors seen here performing surgeries using flashlights. And Israeli ground forces have encircled Al-Shifa Hospital, Gaza's largest, where thousands have taken refuge. Tonight, the head of plastic surgery there sending us these images of those premature babies. With no electricity, they had to remove those tiny bundles from their incubators and line them up on a gurney in a heated room.
Everyone knows that they won't survive that much with this current situation. So we have the sad decision of just leaving them to die slowly because we can't supply them with electricity.
Tonight, the Israeli military says it plans to force Hamas militants to surrender before entering Al-Shifa Hospital, where Israel claims Hamas is running a command center underground, something officials there deny. Today, Israel saying it opened a humanitarian corridor near the hospital to get patients and premature babies to safety. But the U.S. growing increasingly concerned over the mounting civilian death toll.
We do not want to see a firefight in a hospital where innocent people, helpless people, people seeking medical care are caught in the crossfire.
Netanyahu defying growing calls for a ceasefire, saying Israel's war with Hamas continues full force.
So let's get right to ABC's Matt Gutman reporting in Israel tonight. Matt, I want to get back to that breaking news. The U.S. launching that third round of airstrikes. What more are you learning tonight?
That third round of attacks, Rachel, is different. In attacking that command and control center, Pentagon officials tell us that it is more likely that there were militants in that structure at the time of the attack. And they tell us that this was a place that was likely used not only by Iranian proxies, but also by Iranian forces themselves. Those Pentagon officials say it'll take a few days to assess the damage and the casualties. Rachel.
Matt covering that late breaking news for us. All right, Matt, thank you. Now to that other developing story tonight, a tragedy in the Mediterranean Sea. 5 U.S. Army Special Operations soldiers killed in a helicopter crash. The Pentagon says the aircraft went down due to a mishap during a refueling training mission. And tonight, new details on why those crew members were in the region in case they were needed to help evacuate Americans from the Middle East. ABC's Jay O'Brien reporting from the White House tonight.
Tonight, the urgent investigation into the helicopter crash that killed 5 U.S. Special Operations soldiers in the eastern Mediterranean Sea near Cyprus. Officials saying the MH-60 helicopter went down due to a mishap while it was conducting a routine air refueling mission during training late Friday night.
There's very little room for error when you're aerial refueling at night, overnight with night vision goggles at low altitude. And sometimes small mistakes can turn into tragedy.
In a statement, President Biden acknowledging Veterans Day weekend, saying Jill and I are praying for the families and friends who have lost a precious loved one, a piece of their soul. Our entire nation shares their grief. This crash, the latest in a string of deadly accidents during military training. In August, 3 Marines were killed and 20 injured when an Osprey crashed during drills in Australia. In March, 2 Army Black Hawks collided in midair, killing 9 service members training in Kentucky. And a month later, 2 Army Apache helicopters crashed into each other while returning from training in Alaska. 3 soldiers were killed.
And Rachel, we're learning tonight those 5 Special Operations soldiers killed in that helicopter crash were deployed to the eastern Mediterranean in the first place to stand at the ready to possibly help evacuate American citizens in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war. Rachel?
Jay, thank you. We turn now to a deadly fire in New York City. At least 3 people killed and more than a dozen others injured. The flames starting on the ground floor of a residential building in Crown Heights and quickly engulfing the entire 3-story building. Here's ABC's Reena Roy.
Tonight, 3 people are dead and more than a dozen injured after authorities say a fast-moving fire tore through this home in Brooklyn.
We had heavy fire in the basement of a brownstone.
Around 4:30 this morning, more than 100 first responders swarming the scene as flames erupted from the ground floor, quickly engulfing the home. Neighbors say they woke up to the smell of smoke through their walls.
It's so disheartening. It's like one of the worst days of my life.
Officials say that intense smoke created tough conditions for firefighters.
We have to stretch multiple hand lines to each floor. A very dangerous operation for our firefighters.
The 3 who were killed identified as 81-year-old Albertha West, her son 58-year-old Michael, and her 33-year-old grandson Jamil.
We came from Grenada and they were like the sweetest. They welcome us. They're like our extended family, so that's why it's so hard.
And one firefighter was seriously injured. Meanwhile, investigators are still trying to figure out what exactly caused this deadly fire. Rachel?
A horrific fire. Reena, thank you. Developing in the west tonight, a raging inferno shutting down a section of a major highway in downtown Los Angeles. The massive fire starting at a storage yard beneath the freeway and quickly spreading. The governor declared a state of emergency, but both sides of the busy highway are still closed at this hour. Commuters now bracing for a travel nightmare on Monday morning. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Tonight, officials in L.A. preparing residents for a major traffic nightmare after this massive fire engulfed part of the 10 freeway, shutting down a stretch of the heavily trafficked interstate indefinitely.
300,000+ vehicles go through this corridor every single day. It's of significant consequence to the economy, to the health and safety of Angelenos, the impact to our schools, to vulnerable communities.
Overnight, Governor Newsom declaring a state of emergency. The freeway, a major artery into downtown LA for hundreds of thousands of residents, sustaining significant structural damage.
Is this bridge on the verge of total collapse?
We're going to determine that.
Officials say the Inferno erupted in a storage yard on East 14th Street after midnight on Saturday, then burned through the equivalent of 6 football fields. More than 160 firefighters racing to battle the flames for hours into the morning. Tonight, drivers in LA bracing for the worst. The Monday commute just hours away.
The traffic is going to be horrendous. It's going to really impact Los Angeles.
Jacqueline joins us live tonight from the scene of that fire. Jacqueline, you were just at that press conference with the governor and the mayor. Did they give any timeline on when that portion of the freeway would reopen?
Rachel, the governor says they will be working around the clock 24/7, but they simply have no idea when this portion of the interstate will reopen. So they're advising people to either work from home or take public transportation. Rachel.
It'll be a messy Monday commute for so many. All right, Jacqueline, thank you. Now to a major headline developing overseas. Iceland declaring a state of emergency due to the high risk of a volcanic eruption. It could be just hours or days away. Thousands of earthquakes have hit the area and a small town has been evacuated. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan.
Tonight, authorities in Iceland declaring a state of emergency, ordering thousands to evacuate amid fears of a potential volcanic eruption. The southwestern village of Grandavik, now a ghost town. Many of its 4,000 residents taking refuge in nearby shelters. The iconic Blue Lagoon geothermal spa just miles away temporarily closed. A string of earthquakes and tremors recently striking the region. Hundreds of small earthquakes every day for more than 2 weeks, buckling roads and splitting walls in people's homes. Authorities now monitoring an underground buildup of magma beneath the village, fearing it could burst through the Earth's crust within days. Aviation officials also raising their alert level to orange, indicating increased risk of an eruption. In 2010, a massive volcanic eruption in Iceland caused widespread disruptions to transatlantic air travel. More than 100,000 flights cancelled. Rachel, Iceland is one of the most seismically active regions in the world. In fact, the same volcanic system that has been prompting all of these evacuations erupted just this past July. Rachel.
A community on edge tonight. Lama, thank you. New details tonight about the federal corruption probe into donations to New York City Mayor Eric Adams' campaign. ABC News has learned that investigators are trying to determine if the Turkish government benefited from donations to Adams' campaign for mayor. It all comes just days after the FBI seized his phone and electronic devices. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, New York City Mayor Eric Adams speaking out after the FBI seized his phone and other electronic devices last week, denying any wrongdoing and saying that he's working with investigators.
We're cooperating. We need to do this together so all the facts can come out.
It comes amid new details about that FBI probe into donations into the mayor's campaign. Sources tell ABC News investigators are zeroing in on texts found on those seized devices, focusing on whether in 2021, then-candidate Adams pressured fire department officials to approve an occupancy certificate for the new Turkish consulate on Manhattan's East Side. According to sources close to the case, a Turkish official asked Adams for his help in keeping the opening of the Turkavi Center on schedule. They add Adams then texted FDNY Commissioner Daniel Nigro, but it's unclear whether Adams asked or directed him to do anything. Sources say Nigro responded that the building would receive the certificate on time. Sources say federal authorities have been looking into whether Adams' campaign illegally received money from Turkish donors, allegedly using a Brooklyn construction company as a conduit. Just 2 weeks ago, the FBI executed a search warrant at the home of Brianna Suggs, Mayor Adams' top fundraiser. In a statement today, Mayor Adams pointing out that he's not been accused of any wrongdoing, saying contacting government agencies on behalf of constituents was a routine part of his role as borough president. Rachel?
Morgan, thank you. Next tonight, lawmakers are racing to avert a government shutdown now just 5 days away. The new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, pitching Republicans on his plan, but does it have enough votes to pass? Let's bring in ABC's M. Wynn on Capitol Hill, and this plan already getting some pushback from the White House and even some Republicans.
Yeah, Rachel, this is the first major test for the newly elected Speaker Mike Johnson, who's setting up a vote for as early as Tuesday. At least 3 members of Johnson's own party say they'll vote no. If no Democrats vote for the plan, he can only afford to lose 4 Republican votes, the White House calling the plan unserious. It would fund federal services like veterans programs and housing until January 19th and extend funding for other agencies like defense and state departments through February 2nd. If the government shuts down, millions of federal workers would be temporarily off the job or work without pay. This includes military service members, air traffic controllers, and TSA workers. And Rachel, that could mean a spike in flight delays during the very busy Thanksgiving holiday. Rachel?
The second time this fight is playing out this year. Thank you. And there's so much more ahead here on World News Tonight this Sunday. The terrifying highway shooting in Texas, drivers watching the incident unfold. And the NBA player injured in a hit and run in Philadelphia, what police are saying. Next tonight, a tense shootout between a carjacking suspect and Houston police that left the suspect dead and an officer wounded. Shots ringing out on a major highway. The officer was wounded, was dragged to safety by a Good Samaritan. Drivers pulling over on the side of the road watching as that scene played out. That officer is expected to be okay. Philadelphia police are searching for the hit-and-run driver who struck 76ers guard Kelly Oubre Jr. Police say the NBA star was walking near his home when he was hit. He was rushed to the hospital and released overnight. The team says he is expected to miss a significant amount of playing time, but is likely to return before the end of the season. When we come back, news on the 2 popular weight loss drugs and the added benefits to prevent heart disease. And Taylor Swift with the ultimate shout out to Travis Kelce at a concert in Argentina. To the index now, Houston authorities are investigating a crash that killed 6 people, including former NFL cornerback DJ Hayden. Hayden was a first-round draft pick out of the University of Houston in 2013. He was selected by the Raiders and went on to play 9 years in the NFL. 2 of his former college teammates were also killed in that crash. Hayden was 33 years old. A new study finds the active ingredient in the popular weight loss drugs Ozempic and Wegovy can reduce the risk of death from heart disease and strokes in those who are overweight or obese but don't have diabetes. Previous research has shown that semaglutide also reduces risk in patients with type 2 diabetes. The drug maker is now asking the FDA to include that risk reduction as part of the drug's approval. Fans of Taylor Swift breaking the internet this weekend after this.
Drama is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to.
The pop star changing the lyrics of her hit Karma to include a shout out to the Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Fans catching video of Kelce's reaction as he watched the show with her father. The 2 were spotted embracing after the show. When we come back, America Strong on this Veterans Day weekend, helping some of those who served. And finally tonight, America Strong, the group helping veterans get back on their feet.
On this Veterans Day weekend, new beginnings for over 100 homeless veterans in Houston. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation officially opening the first Veterans Village.
This is just the beginning. Let us restore these homeless veterans' hope. Let us restore their dignity. Let us restore their lives.
This former Holiday Inn hotel fully converted, providing shelter and hope to homeless veterans. John Manley, who served in the National Guard for nearly a decade, is one of their first residents.
Once in my life, I could say I'm truly happy, and that's coming from my heart. It's just wonderful to know that someone cares.
After losing his wife to a long battle with cancer, he became homeless, living at 3 different men's shelters over the past 5 years.
It was real hard. I ended up being depressed and living on the streets, and I didn't have no one to turn to. I ended up down at the bottom, as they say.
But then he found the Veterans Village.
I have a roof over my head. I have a television, icebox, microwave. They furnished everything. I would be here for the rest of my life. This is my family now. It's a happy place to be.
And he has this advice for other homeless veterans suffering in silence.
You can come up from the bottom and live a decent life, but you have to want it. Just ask somebody to help you.
A fresh new beginning for our nation's heroes. Thank you so much for watching. Dave will be right back here tomorrow night. I'm Rachel Scott. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir America's most watched newscast.